I told my GF I wasn't ready for kids. She became obsessed with babies, and our 4-year relationship imploded. 3 months later, we made a decision that changed everything. I'm a 28-year-old guy, and for 4 years I thought I had the kind of relationship people envied. My girlfriend, Emma, 27F, and I met in our final year at university. She was studying literature, I was in business. We met in the most cliché way possible, assigned to the same group project. She was the one who took the lead in our group, who kept everyone on schedule, and who knew exactly how to smooth over conflicts. I liked her immediately. She had this laugh, a real, from-the-gut laugh, that made you want to keep telling her stories just to hear it again. We started dating 2 months after graduation. It wasn't whirlwind in the rom-com sense, but it was steady, comfortable, and deeply good. Within a year, we were living together in a small but bright 2-bedroom apartment in the city. We had our routines, grocery runs on Sundays, takeout on Fridays, Saturday morning coffee walks. We were that couple in our friend group, the ones people teased about being already married and everything but paperwork. For years, our talks about the future were full of travel plans, career moves, maybe getting a dog. Kids were never off the table, but in my mind, they were a someday thing. My mental checklist for ready included owning a house, having a healthy emergency fund, and being in a position where we wouldn't have to stress about every extra expense. I thought Emma felt the same. One evening, over homemade pasta, she asked me, "When do you think we'll be ready for kids?" It was the first time she'd brought it up seriously. I set down my fork and said, "Honestly, I don't think I'm ready yet. Maybe 3, for years from now. I want us to have a place of our own first. Maybe travel more. Just enjoy being us for a while." She nodded, gave a small smile, and said, "Yeah, that makes sense." Then we moved on to talking about her work drama. I thought that was the end of it. About a week later, we were walking through the park on a sunny afternoon when we passed a young couple with a stroller. Emma slowed down, her eyes following the baby. "She's so cute," she murmured. I didn't think much of it. Who doesn't coo over a cute baby? But then she started sending me baby videos on Instagram. At first, it was funny clips, a toddler trying lemon for the first time, a baby giggling at a dog. Then it shifted to nursery tours, baby name lists, and even parenting tips. She always framed it as just for fun, but the frequency kept increasing. Family gatherings didn't help. At her cousin's engagement party, her mom joked, "When are you two going to make me a grandma?" Emma laughed and said, "Someday," but I noticed the way her gaze flicked to me, almost like she was checking my reaction. At a friend's wedding, she caught the bouquet, and instead of just laughing, she walked over to me with that mischievous smirk and whispered, "Guess you're next." I brushed it off. I told myself it was just baby fever, a phase. Maybe it would pass when our friends' newborns stopped being new. It didn't pass. Over the next couple of months, it went from casual comments to something that felt heavier. She'd linger in the baby aisle at Target. She followed several mom influencers on Instagram. She started reading parenting forums late at night. One evening, I came home and found her at the kitchen table with her laptop open to a real estate site. Every listing she'd bookmarked had a perfect nursery space noted in the description. When I asked why she was looking, she said, "I'm just picturing our future." The first serious fight happened on a Sunday morning. We were drinking coffee, and she asked if I thought we'd start trying for a baby within the next year. I told her calmly no. I still think we should wait at least 3 years. Her face fell. She set down her mug and said, 3 years? You know, my mom had trouble conceiving in her 30s. What if we wait too long? I tried to explain my reasons again, that I wanted us to be financially stable, that I didn't want to bring a kid into a rental apartment with paper-thin walls and a leaky bathroom ceiling. But she heard it as rejection. "So you're saying you don't even see a future with me?" She shot back. That wasn't what I meant at all, but the rest of the day was tense and quiet. After that, the topic came up more and more. Sometimes in small ways, like when I mentioned a trip I wanted to take next year, and she'd say, "You know, if we had a baby, we couldn't just go like that." Sometimes in bigger ways, like her casually mentioning she was tracking her cycle, just in case. The breaking point came at a friend's birthday dinner. One of our friends brought their 6-month-old, and of course everyone wanted to hold the baby. When it was Emma's turn, someone said, "You look like a natural mom." Emma laughed and said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "I just need the right guy to be ready." It hit me like a punch. People laughed awkwardly. I forced a smile, but my chest felt tight. We fought the entire drive home. I told her that was unfair, that I'd been upfront from the start. She said I'd wasted 4 years of her life. I accused her of pressuring me into something I wasn't ready for. The next morning, I packed a small box of my things and left for my brother's apartment. The first few weeks apart were strange. The silence was loud. At first, I felt a kind of relief. No tension, no eggshells. But the quiet turned into something heavier. I missed our Sunday routines. I missed the way she'd sing under her breath when she cooked. I miss her. I fill my days with work, the gym, and catching up with friends. But every time I saw a couple with a stroller, I thought about her. 2 months in, I got an Instagram notification, a DM from Emma. It just said, "Hey, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Would you be open to meeting for coffee?" I stared at it for hours before replying. When? We met at the cafe where we had our first date. She looked the same, but there was something softer about her expression. We ordered, sat down, and for a minute it was awkward. Then she said, "I owe you an apology." She told me she'd started seeing a therapist after we split. She'd realized her obsession with having a baby wasn't just about wanting a child. It was about fear. Fear of running out of time. Fear of instability. Fear that if I wasn't ready now, I never would be. She admitted she'd pushed me too hard, too fast, that she hadn't respected my boundaries. I told her I was sorry too, for making her feel like her dreams didn't matter, for shutting down every conversation instead of really listening. We talked for 2 hours. By the end, we weren't ready to jump back in, but we didn't want to throw away 4 years either. So we agreed. We'd try again, slowly. We'd go to couples counseling, and we'd revisit the kids' conversation in 2 years. No sooner, no later. It's been 6 months since then. We're not perfect, but we're better. We laugh more. We fight less. The baby talk is off the table for now, and that boundary has made everything lighter. Sometimes I still think about how close we came to ending forever. And it scares me, but it also reminds me why I'm willing to put in the work. Because in the end, the decision that changed everything wasn't about kids at all. It was about choosing us. So Reddit, if you were in my shoes, would you have gone back? Would you take the risk of reconciling, knowing the same issue might come up again? Or would you walk away before the heartbreak has a chance to repeat itself?